At the moment they gave her the injection, they said they gave it so that she could go to sleep. But in fact, they just killed my mother. The GP said, well, I'm here with your mother and I ordered an ambulance because I think she has pneumonia. I drove to the place where the hospital is and I got a call and there was a voicemail from a doctor from the ER. He said, you don't have to hurry because you will not find her alive if you come to the hospital. And he said, yeah, we had to give her an injection, so she will be in a coma, but it will be a coma, she will not wake up. My daughter was with me and, well, we drove to the hospital. So I said, but why? Why didn't you intubate her? And he said, I called the GP, and the GP said, she was lonely, she was depressed, she didn't want to go out of her house and she wanted to stay in her house, she didn't want to go to a home. Therefore we decided that it would be better not to treat her anymore. They said my mother was depressed, but she was not depressed. The doctor called me in the middle of the night and said she had passed away. And I said, the cause of death, what's the cause of death? And she said pneumonia and heart failure. But I thought, I was laying in my bed, I thought, no, that was not. It was that little injection you gave her.
They say that self-determination is what it's all about. But in this case, was it self-determination?
No, absolutely not. She was euthanized without consent. They decided.
In 2015, Dutch doctors ended the lives of 431 patients without their consent. The Netherlands decriminalized euthanasia about 15 years ago, and it is illegal to end someone's life without consent, but it still happens. Why is that? The euthanasia law implies that it's better to be dead than to suffer. So some doctors think a person is suffering or think they may suffer in the future and then end the person's life even if the person did not request it. What does that have to do with New Zealand? Currently our parliament is considering a bill that is based on the Dutch and Belgian euthanasia laws. Parliament's Justice Committee is asking for your view on this bill by 20 February. In the next few minutes, I'll tell you briefly what this bill is about and how you can have your say. The end-of-life choice bill is not about turning off life support. It's not about do not resuscitate requests. It's not about withdrawing treatment. It's not about a person receiving as much pain relief as they may need. What this bill is about is making it legal for a doctor to intentionally end a person's life using lethal drugs. This bill is not only for terminally ill people. The bill also includes people with irreversible medical conditions. That could include disabilities, mental illness, aging-related, degenerative conditions, long-standing chronic conditions like arthritis or diabetes. So if this bill becomes law, an 18-year-old could be diagnosed with such a condition, request a lethal injection that same appointment, be dead days later without telling anyone about their diagnosis or their desire to die. It wouldn't matter what else is going on in the person's life, financial worries, relationship stress, as long as the person understands that they would die, they would qualify. Regardless of the details though, a euthanasia law would be dangerous to our society. It would make death a medical treatment. It would make it legal for one person to intentionally end the life of another person or assist in their suicide. It would make staying alive to receive care just another option instead of the normal thing to do. A person may need to justify to themselves and to others why they are still alive if death is the cheaper option. You may wonder, but isn't this law for suffering people? who are on their way to a horrible, painful death? Actually, nowadays in New Zealand, everyone can die with their symptoms managed, with their pain under control. It's a matter of access, making sure a person has the care they need when they need it. That's where our focus needs to be. We know from the research that when a person wants assisted suicide or euthanasia, they want it for existential and emotional reasons, not physical pain.